Alright guys, I guess we'll start the night off watching Hannah the Horrible. We're watching Bloody Mary, the full story. It's his full story history, ritual, possible explanations. That's a mouthful. Love the content there, Hannah.
Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary.
I love the content.
Hey humans,
I love the
Hannah.
production.
Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, I do videos on creepy and disturbing things. So if that's also your thing, consider subscribing. Today we're going to be talking about the Bloody Mary. So as you've probably heard before, Bloody Mary is one of those weird 3 a.m. games that basically nobody should ever play. It uses the practice of cataptromacy, which is basically using a mirror for divination. Mirrors being the gateway to a spirit world is actually not a new concept at all, and that probably doesn't
I know one of the possible
explanations. Before we had
explanations.
funeral homes, when families had to take care of their own dead loved ones, it was common to cover all of the mirrors in the house until the body of the loved one was gone and put to rest. This was because they were afraid that their loved one's ghost would see themselves in one of the mirrors and get trapped there forever. So now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about the Bloody Mary ritual itself. The original ritual,
I don't want to ruin it yet. I'll explain it later.
Is actually quite different from the one that we know girls to play at sleepovers. Originally, the story goes that a woman specifically had to climb up a flight of stairs going backwards in a dark house, looking into a mirror as she did this. And as she did this ritual, she was supposed to be able to see a glimpse of her future husband's face in the mirror. But unfortunately, sometimes the ritual would show you the image of a skull or the Grim Reaper instead. And this means that you were going to die long before you would ever be able to find a husband. So today,
wow,
the ritual
okay, I didn't know that.
and love is when an individual or a group of individuals ritualistically chant Bloody Mary into a mirror while in a dimly lit or candlelit room. The game is often played in a bathroom because it's easy to make it dark and there's always a mirror in there. Some people say that you're not supposed to say Bloody Mary at all, but there's other names that you're supposed to say, such as Mary Worth, Bloody Bones, Mary Wales, Hell Mary, and the list goes on and on. The story also varies on how many times you're supposed to say her name. Most of the versions that I hear always say that you're supposed to chant it 3 times. However, doing research on this,
I've never done it though.
A lot of versions actually say
not out of fear, I just didn't really remember to do it.
More than that, and others just say to keep
not my daily chores.
You see her. Some say that you're supposed to have the water of the faucet dripping as you do the ritual. Others say you're supposed to actually touch the mirror as you chant, and others say that you're supposed to be slowly turning in the bathroom as you chant, or some combination of these. Then the image that will appear in the mirror, it could be a ghost, it could be a corpse, it could be a vision of.
If it is a ghost, imagine how easy it is to manipulate ghosts.
And whatever it is, it's sometimes said that she'll be covered in blood. Some versions say that the apparition will appear with a dead blue baby in her arms. Others say that she'll be empty-handed, in fact, but you're supposed to taunt the apparition by saying, Bloody Mary, I stole your baby, or Mary Worth, I stole.
I actually remember the
she may just
I stole your baby bit.
Yeah. She may just curse you out. Maybe she does nothing and you just see her and she disappears. A popular version of the story is that Mary Worth was a witch who was burned at the stake hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and so her vengeful
I know a little bit about this story, guys.
Comes through the mirror for anybody who says her name. Modern versions say that she was actually a woman who was killed brutally in a car accident and her face ended up extremely mutilated, and so she comes to haunt people that say her name, and she wants to make them look like her, so she scratches at their face. Another popular version of the story is that people think that she's actually supposed to be Mary the First of England. Mary the First of England was actually nicknamed Bloody Mary, and this is because she was a queen who was known to want Catholicism to be the religion of the land again, and so she had many Protestant Christians put to death during her reign. It's also cool that there's actually a Japanese version of this story. The Japanese have their own urban legend of the Bloody Mary, and it's called Hanako-san. The legend is that the spirit of a young girl haunts their school bathrooms. She's said to have short black hair and is always dressed in a red school uniform. There are, of course, many variations of
course, the Japanese legend would have a little schoolgirl who is like haunted.
One version says that she died from suicide in the girls' bathroom at her school.
She commits
Others say that she was
self-die.
actually murdered there. Another popular version is that she was actually a girl who in World War II was stuck in the girls' bathroom during an air raid and was killed that way. It's said that she was hiding in there while playing hide and seek with her friends. So in their version, in order to summon Hanako-san, you must go to the 3rd floor of a school bathroom and go to the girls' bathroom specifically. You go in and you were supposed to knock 3 times on the 3rd stall. You're then supposed to say, "Are you there, Hanako-san?" And if she is, she'll say, "Yes, I am." You may see a bloody or a ghostly hand come from underneath the stall. Some say you'll see this hand, but she'll actually pull you in with her and suck you down into the toilet with her, which is said to be a gateway to hell. And then sometimes, if she doesn't feel like it, she'll just acknowledge that she's there and then disappear. So I have no doubt that for how many times people have played this game in the mirror, at
people like to make really weird
school,
stories, huh?
what have you, they have actually seen some things in the mirror. And it's
Yes, here we
interesting
go.
because there's actually some possible explanations for this that are based on
Pareidolia.
science. One of the explanations is possibly strange face illusion. This is when, if you're in a dimly lit room for a very long period of time, especially if you're chanting stuff,
I think it's called pareidolia.
it is possible that you will start to hallucinate. Another theory about why we may see apparitions in a mirror is self-hypnosis. Again, you're chanting, you're in a dimly lit room, and you may be doing it for a long time. You may kind of start to hypnotize yourself on accident, and then you may mistake things that you're seeing in the mirror as apparitions.
Yeah, so yeah, this is exactly what I heard. So I think the term is pareidolia. I've been saying it, but I'm not completely sure if that's the right term. It's where you see faces in things that don't inherently have faces, but that's how the human brain is wired. And your expectation is to see something in the mirror. So if you keep chanting it with that same expectation, anything in the mirror that can loosely resemble a face, your brain will immediately go straight to, that's a face. Sometimes it may even distort your own face, but that's just self-hypnosis and hallucination because of the expectation that you see a face, because you're chanting it. So that's generally what I think people are seeing, is that either seeing their own face but distorted, or they're expecting to see faces and therefore see a face in the background or something. You know, from the wrinkles of their shower curtains or something like that.
Or my personal opinion, if you kind of are doing this ritual and you really want to see something, then any noise or shadow that you see while doing it in the bathroom,
I jumped the gun there.
Attribute to the ritual. And then some people also theorize that it's due to pareidolia. And
pareidolia, there we go.
is a psychological phenomenon when our brain tends to see human faces in everyday objects and unrelated stimuli. It's very easy for our brain to want to find patterns in things. And so
we're hardwired to see faces.
People are playing games like this, they may just sort of see that stuff in their bathroom and everyday objects. Now, I'm not saying all experiences people had playing these ritualistic games are due to these scientific theories. However, I do find it really interesting that any amount of science has actually went to study this. I personally have never heard of anybody playing this game and actually come into
we beat the game,
having anything really scary happen. And if they did, then it's probably fake. But it is really interesting that this game goes so far back that there's so many variations as the story's been told and retold. So let me know in the comments below if you've ever played this game, what your experience was if you did play this game, or if maybe you would never play it because you just don't want to mess with that stuff, which I totally understand.
I 100% do not believe in that sort of stuff, and I haven't played the game. It's not on my mind.